What's going on, guys? So, we're on a new world. I know it's a bit of a shock. We only got 2 episodes or 3 episodes, whatever, into the last one. But as a collective, we kind of decided that because some new people had joined or recently started playing again, and they wanted to play properly, it was almost at a disadvantage that we were so far ahead. So we all decided that we'd start a new world, and this is going to be the world that we play on now, properly, doing the big projects and all that on until the cave and whatever update it's called comes out. So I reloaded the world, remade the world, whatever, and we spawned straight in, basically next to a village. So it's a nice, easy start. I figured from here, you know, we're going to be able to, I don't know, we found some carrots, potatoes, stuff like that. Got a couple of beds as well. It saves going and killing a couple of animals, and overall was just a fine village, a pretty standard, normal village. And then on from here, I know I wanted to build my base this time, kind of hidden away, maybe in a mountain if I could find the right one, or maybe even dig into a mountain and make it look like it's supported and stuff like that. But luckily enough, I found, well, all I can describe as the perfect little hidey hole in a mountain. It went straight in and straight out one way, and then it had like a side room that I thought could be a really cool bedroom, so we went for that. Now, I threw all my stuff down that I had on me at the time, so crafting table, I believe I made a furnace, I grabbed some coal, 1 or 2 bits, it was literally just there at the entrance, put it all down, like I say, and thought, right, this is where I'm building, this is where my main base is going to be. And I really wanted the whole thing to be natural, so I wanted to have a lived-in feel, but still work and make it look like it could be a real environment around the cave itself. So, to do this, I just needed resources to start off with. I believe I knocked some parts out of the mountain and just kind of cleaned it up enough that I could work with it, but also kept it original enough where you could visibly believe it is a cave that someone's just moved into and started living their life there. So after knocking out some of the sides, making a couple of torches, lighting it up a bit, which did absolutely nothing because there was about 98 creepers that exploded around me, as you'll probably see. I then went mining, just for the essentials, like I say, any kind of coal I got, picked that one up, any iron I got, picked that one up, just enough to get, you know, your basic tools like your pickaxe so I could start mining a bit quicker and get a water bucket as well for various things. And now at this point, I do want to point out, I wanted to live on my own, but someone on the realm decided that no matter what I said, they was going to move in with me. And this is mainly because they can't build, but I figured because they're quite dedicated in terms of, well, they get me a ridiculous amount of diamonds, so I couldn't really say no. Eventually I'm sure they'll move out, but for now I don't mind them, you know, staying with me, making a bed and all that. I just get really annoyed when people make something and it's not like in my perfect style. Like, that probably sounds really selfish, everyone has their own style, but I don't know, I'll see one block out of place and think, well, I didn't place that, so now I'm kind of frustrated by it. But it is what it is, it's fine. He is a really good guy, so I'm sure it'll be fine. And then I just started knocking out the floor because everyone was sleeping at weird times and no one was doing it together. It was really frustrating me, so started taking out the floor. And the plan I had for the floor was a pretty simple one, so I was going to mix in with your classic kind of grey blocks, so your cobblestone, andesite, bit of gravel maybe. Then I also wanted to give it some texture, so I used some standard oak logs kind of on the side so it showed the bark, and then the actual oak planks as well. That all mixed together looked, I think, pretty damn cool. I did want to use acacia as well, which I will be using more later, because acacia logs on the side are kind of quite grey and they look really good in caves, so I was going to use that as well. But at this point I just didn't have any. I mean, I couldn't see anywhere around me that did any. I did end up going exploring a little tiny bit, but yeah, just could not find any. So that's the design I went for. I then basically got sick to death of things walking into this cave, as you would expect. 99% of the time there was like some kind of zombie stood next to me trying to mess me up, so I just put a few fences and a fence door thing, just at both kind of entrances, but decided for some reason not to block off the massive hole in the side where the bedroom was going to be. So again, you're going to see many a monster just wander into this base and try and kill me maliciously, or creepers just be there, because I just could never be bothered to fill it. Now, it may look like haven't spent much time, but this took many hours, just mining bits out slowly, taking a step back, having a look, thinking, does that look right, doesn't it? But overall, the idea I went for was nice, and in terms of the roof, because again, I was going to have to take out any diorites, it's ugly, any dirt, stuff like that. The roof, I was basically going to fill in with a mix of them acacia logs when I found them, and then cobble, just so it has a slightly different texture from the floor, so the whole thing doesn't look kind of the same. But it was fine for now, and then in the meantime I did do stuff like plant a couple of carrots outside, stuff like that, because food at this stage is pretty important, and baked potatoes as well are a really easy way of just getting loads and loads of food. And luckily, in between all this, in between all the little bits of exploring just to try and find certain things and whatnot, and we will be doing an entire episode just on exploration, filling in, I should say, a map, stuff like that. I did manage to find some sugarcane, some potatoes, some carrots, pretty much every crop there is and can be named, and I also found a ton of books out of villages, which is going to make life super easy, because if you can get a level 30 enchantment table within like the first couple of days, you're absolutely balling. You're going to be able to hit them diamonds, hit that, you know, efficiency, hit that fortune, you're going to be off, absolutely no problem. But the rest of my time, the rest of my first sort of 5 hours was just spent mainly mining out the base, while my friend that was starting to live with me was doing all the mining underground, so big thank you to him. He was supplying the resources, I was kind of supplying the build quality, if you will. I ended up going for a kind of room to one side as well that I knocked out, you've probably seen in here, and that is going to be like my showroom. So we're going to be putting a couple of armor stands in there, maybe a couple of frames on the wall showing off our first pickaxe, our first diamond, stuff like that. Just little sentimental things that don't mean anything but looks cool, because there's nothing more annoying in Minecraft than when a room just doesn't have a function to me, and at least with this it gives a function, rather than making like a front room or a dining room, whatever, that has no real function. This gives a function and it looks good, so I was really enjoying it. And then I just wanted to get to work on the room that was going to be my friend's room. Super simple. I let him choose between an area that was kind of on top or this smaller one. He wanted the smaller one, so I made kind of a hobbit hole type window, a small circular type window, and then made him a little bed, decorated it. It flows really nicely as well, I think. And I'll be showing that properly in a sec. But I then got caught up because someone else on the realm decided that they wanted to go and make a kind of mine shaft style base, which super cool idea, and needed my brilliant, or not so brilliant I should say, expertise on just making it look kind of natural and right. So I ended up doing that for a good sort of 20 minutes, going in and showing some tips, walking him through how I would maybe personally do it, and then let him kind of get on with it. So I'm really excited to see what he does with this whole idea. And I'll be doing a base tour, like a world tour, an update, probably every Friday, maybe Saturday, to show what everyone's doing as they're getting on with it. Obviously if they want me to or not, maybe they want to keep it a secret, who knows. But yeah, so I did that, and then went back to the base and carried on with what can only be described as a tedious amount of slowly digging out areas, then slowly adding the exact same resources I've dug out back into them areas to make it look kind of normal. But at this point I felt I'd got to a pretty good area to kind of come off for the day. Like I say, it seems like a bit of a slow episode. It is a bit of a slow episode, I guess. From now, though, I'm going to try and kind of increase the episodes to maybe 15-20 minutes to try and fit in the kind of ridiculous amount of stuff I do. I think at the minute I try and cramp so much into a short space of time, and that's just because I don't want it to drag. But I guess I can try doing a 15-20 minute episode, seeing what people think, and we can go on from there. But that is it, like I say, for today's episodes, guys. Sorry it's a shorter one. in the process of getting everything sorted, so hopefully the next one will be a little bit more enjoyable, maybe a little less boring. You'll have to let me know. As always, stay safe. I'll see you next time.